Welcome back to another episode of the Lavesh Show. I don't know what to say. I really don't know where I stand after this weekend. I'm rather annoyed with Mclaren to say the least. I mean, yeah, they got a 1-2 for the first time since 1999 in Hungary. But what the hell is wrong with your strategists? Like, do you not know how to use your pit stops correctly? First, you used to put after the race leader, then at the same time, now you put before. But you get the wrong driver to put first, and then force them to give up their position so that the other guy who pitted second could win his first Grand Prix. What in the hell is wrong with you guys? I personally love McLaren as a team, and I feel that they could easily surpass Red Bull in the coming weeks. But if they keep screwing up their strategies and messing around each week, they're really going to fall short on points. But then again, with the way Perez is going, I don't know how much of help he is going to be to help Red Bull to hold on to their title. He is really struggling to keep his cool and get the best performance out of the car, which is costing the team a lot of points every week. It is also screwing with Max's chance of winning each week, as he does not have a teammate who is there to help him defend the top spot and to hold back the other teams. I know I reported that Perez has recently signed a 2-year contract extension with Red Bull until 2026, but at this rate, I think the team may trigger a clause and let him go. In a recent interview, Red Bull team principal Christian Horner said that Red Bull Academy driver Isaac Hadjar could potentially see F1 action from 2025. And that could mean that he could either replace Perez in the main team or replace Tsunoda or Ricardo in the VCARB team, while one of those drivers progress to race as Max's teammate for next season. A friend of the show, Njabula, suggested that we could also potentially see a move to get Liam Lawson to race next to Verstappen in the Red Bull main team, as Tsunoda may be a bit too temperamental to keep a seat next to Max and may crash under pressure. I do, however, feel that with Red Bull's track record, the chances of taking a youngster like Hadjar and throwing him into the deep end may just be the most likely outcome from this entire process. This, however, is still dependent on whether the team is going to give Perez another chance, or are they going to sack him and hope that his replacement will do a much better job to keep Max running at full steam. I think we can go a bit further with a potential replacement and say that Red Bull may make a last ditch effort to try and sign Carlos Sainz to race next to Max and potentially increase competition amongst both the drivers in order to maximize points each week. Before we continue this episode, I have an important ask. If you're enjoying this episode, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. It'll really help me grow the channel and bring you more awesome F1 content each week. Back to the real content that you're here for. In this week's race, though, we saw spectacular action which had me swearing at my TV and complaining like there was no tomorrow. I was in awe at the skill that was displayed between Max and Lewis as they fought against each other for positions, but Hamilton pulled out all the stops and made Max suffer till the very end. During a late lap in the race, Max was trying to overtake Hamilton, but unfortunately had a very nasty lockup and hit Hamilton, who surprisingly just kept racing like nothing happened. It seemed like Max may have ended up in the barrier wall, but oddly also managed to get his car back onto the track and kept racing as best as he could. Both cars fortunately escaped much damage, and there was no need for a yellow flag, safety car, or any of that sort. This did, however, give Hamilton the advantage, as Max needed to bring himself back onto track, and while doing so, Charles Leclerc managed to sneak past him to claim fourth position. The incident managed to also increase the gap between Hamilton and the two McLaren drivers, who managed to do their little position swap with some ease without worrying about someone stealing pole position. Now, if you're wondering what position swap I meant, well, Norris was in the lead and the team basically asked him to give up that place to Piastri. Now, I personally feel that it's unfair and I'm still super pissed at the whole position swap, but I mean, that's what the team chose to do. I mean, would it not make sense to have the driver who is in second place in the Drivers' Championship rack up the higher points for the week to close up the gap between himself and the current leader? Norris, as usual, kept throwing sarcastic comments at his race engineer, who had to keep reminding him to use his tyres sparingly and that he is playing a team game. The team were rather worried that Norris may not give up pole position to his Australian teammate though, as he was rather reluctant to do so and did not seem in a hurry to make the change either. For us fans, it was a rather entertaining race that saw Hamilton rack up his 200th podium finish, Piastri win his first ever Grand Prix, and become the 115th driver to ever do so. It also marked the 7th different driver to take the top step this season. That being said, I'm really looking forward to the battle for the Drivers and Constructors Championships over the next few weeks. That's it for this week's episode. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for listening to The Lavesh Show.